Alright, what's good everyone? My name is Dharm Shah, and today I'm going to talk about my experience of seeing Huberman, Dr. Huberman, Andrew Huberman live. Actually yesterday, or actually the date is October 16, 2022, at the Wiltern, I believe, someplace in LA. Actually pretty nice venue, and there's actually like a lot of people that went, which really surprised me, and it was like really hyped to see that a lot of people like interested in science and stuff like that. So that was really cool to see. Especially when we walked in, we got there and we saw like the line was wrapping like the whole building, which was like insane. Especially for like a doctor, I guess, but it's lit to see that science is popping off. Today I just really wanted to mainly share some of the main lessons, or mainly the main lessons that I learned from him. I got to go with two of my good friends, and it was really hyped that I have people that are interested in this stuff, and it's cool to see that that it exists and stuff like that. So I got my iPad here and I'm just gonna read you guys some. So the first main lesson that I learned was this double inhale and exhale for like instant stress relief. That's what he was like advertising it as. And I heard this too in like other podcasts and like other articles and stuff like that. Basically it's just and like it's really important to do that double inhale and exhale, like everything out for like instant stress relief, because you're mainly with the long exhale, you're getting rid of carbon dioxide, and our body like responds more to the carbon dioxide rather than oxygen. So it's good to inhale and exhale. When you exhale, you're also activating the parasympathetic nervous system, which is kind of putting you in a relaxed state. So the one thing that he repped till death, that's what he said he would do, was the morning sunlight. He really pushed us and encouraged us to make sure we get morning sunlight, which helps set our circadian rhythm. And he was saying that the circadian rhythm exists in a 24-hour cycle, and there's nothing that we can do about that. That is just pure fact. So it might as well, instead of denying that or working against it, it's probably best in our intentions to work with it and then try to optimize that. And you can do that by seeing morning sunlight and also evening sunlight. He made that a big deal as well. And honestly, I've been seeing like a huge difference while doing it. I've been doing it for honestly 2 years now. I first learned about it in quarantine, where they're like, make sure you get sunlight and stuff like that. So I was every morning wake up, I just go straight outside, full face of sun. Also do something called grounding, which is I just step on grass with like my bare feet. It just feels really nice, and the grass is kind of cold in the morning when I wake up, so it kind of like helps with that. So that's been really nice. He also said that you learn the most when you're frustrated, or when you're frustrated, that is when you're about to start learning. And I kind of resonated with this a lot. Well, basically it's kind of like you keep pushing when you're studying something, and then all of a sudden it just clicks. Like all of a sudden you're like, oh, I get this shit, it makes sense to me. So then the next lesson he said was love and delight really fuels you, and if you can bring it up daily, you feel better and more inspired. My interpretation of this was delight. He said delight. He said when you see your kids, I don't have kids, so apparently they give delight or something, too young for that at the most. But my interpretation of delight was mainly gratitude, or just being grateful for something in the present. He kind of described delight as something that just kind of exists, kind of brings you joy, kind of fuels you, but I was thinking it's kind of like things that you do, or activities or people or something that activities that you're in that kind of aren't productive in the means of, they're not really trying to get to a higher goal or attain to another level. You're just kind of doing it because it's just for doing it, like building Legos, or painting, or playing Magic. It's just kind of you're just doing it to do it, and it's not really means to something. And I think that's where you can also get delight. And I think delight can also be derived from gratitude and just being grateful of the little small things you have. I'm super grateful for this water bottle. It's super clutch, super useful. It has cold water, which is great. So I think he was mainly talking about, or what I interpreted was his gratitude, or that is the way I think you can bring about delight in your life, which is gratitude. He also mentioned the fact that rest is mandatory. We need rest. It's not a non-negotiable in terms of that's just our biology and our physiology, where we really need to rest and sleep and stuff like that. So in the last months, or ever since moving back from college, I've been really taking my sleep seriously and using apps called Sleep Tracker, which is really cool, and putting a little piece of tape over my mouth, and just nose breathing has been super beneficial as well. And so I agree with that, and I've been really trying to take rest more seriously. Unfortunately, in our world with so much stimulation and the access to this magic rock that we have at all times, it's kind of hard to sleep well. So I think it is something that at least I'm trying to prioritize, and I think others should as well. The big takeaway that I kind of got was the stress regulation. This goes hand in hand with the double inhale and then the super long exhale. I think that he was mentioning the fact that when you're stressed out or like anxious, you're literally in tunnel vision. You can literally see less. I know you start thinking things in black and white rather than like the gray area that life really is. You really get into hard decisions, which makes sense once you're in stress or in anxious modes and you enter the fight or flight. It is evolutionarily makes sense for you to think like, oh, in black and white, do or die. Am I gonna live or am I gonna die? So I totally agree with that. And he stressed that if we have better self-regulation of stress, then like the world will be a much better place. So I think I agree with that. I think something that can be useful for as meditation can definitely help you, calm yourself down. Also, breathing exercises like the double inhale exhale, I know that has done wonders for me as well. I think it is another way to really stress regulate is to just be present, to really, which is like super stupid to say. I know it can be really hard, especially when you're stressed times, but literally just focusing on something in front of you, like literally just staring at this, like actually like looking at it, looking for like small details, really examining objects or really trying to hear something. I think focusing on something that is like in front of you helps take you away out of your mind, because that's where like anxiety and stress is. It's just kind of stuff bubbling in your head. Also, quitting or staying away from social media, or at least heavy usage of social media, mainly TikTok and Instagram and all of those more short content forms. Also YouTube Shorts is definitely one of them, where you're just consuming a lot of content really rapidly without really taking a step back to see what you're looking at. With TikTok, it's super easy. I was definitely caught in these loops where I'm just flick, scroll up, and not really being satisfied with anything. Then he mentioned the fact that neuroplasticity, or the ability for our brain to change, is lifelong. It lasts our entire life. He mentioned the fact that at some point it was believed that it only lasted till when you're about 25, but he mentioned that is just wrong, and that is just a wrong fact, which kind of made me feel really good. And the fact that I can keep growing, you can grow until you die. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. Any feedback would be cool. Or if you watch Dr. Huberman, feel free to, put a comment down below. We could always chat about it. Well, thank you for watching, and let's grow together. Oh, yes.